So, what would you do if you were in a town that was getting hit by a Category 5 hurricane? It flooded the whole neighborhood, and sharks started coming in there and eating everybody. Hopefully, you'd make better decisions than what the people in this movie did. Thrash stars Jaimin Hantu as Dr. Dale Edwards, who basically is a guy who studies sharks, whose town is about to get hit by a Category 5 hurricane. And his niece is there, and a whole bunch of shenanigans endure. There's going to be some slight spoilers in this review, but right off the bat, I'm going to give this like a 6 out of 10, and I think I'm being generous with it. This is just not a good movie. And my issue with movies like this, right? Shark movies, right? Is that we understand as like the audience, or at least we should understand, that there's like a level of, I'm suspending my belief here, right? Because it's a bunch of sharks just going around like eating people. And always in these movies, it always seems like the sharks like are rational thinking things that like, oh, look, a person over there, I'm just going to go eat that person. Oh, another person, I'm just going to eat that person. Right. And so we understand like, okay, I understand like what I'm getting myself into. Right. But the overall premise of this movie is that it centers around a coastal town that's about to get hit by a Category 5 hurricane. And there are so many people that are still there. And not only that, but one of our protagonists, right? She is heading towards like the town. And she's pregnant. So it's just like there's so many things that are just like, this is just dumb. Like, why are these characters making these dumb decisions? That I can't possibly rate it higher than a 6. Just for that, it's just the decision making in these types of movies. Like, it just follows, unfortunately, like the same like tropes of people just making bad and dumb decisions that ultimately lead to their death. And also on the flip side of that, it's people making bad and dumb decisions, but then just getting away with their bad, dumb decision. It's the plot armor aspect of it, or where it's just like, this doesn't make sense, right? And you have people who are doing the same thing in the movie and they get eaten, and then someone else does the same exact thing, and plot armor writing saves them. It's just lazy, it's dumb. And unfortunately, I can't even say that it's enjoyable, because there are certain, movies like this that are just like, listen, it's just enjoyable. Like, I get what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting into. It's just so over the top. That's not what this movie is. Up until the third act, and I'm going to get into the third act, but up until the third act, this movie comes across like a drama. It's very character focused, character driven. A lot of these people have like backgrounds, especially one of our characters, right? She has a background where it's like, oh, tugs on the heart. Like, I get it, right? So it comes across as like this drama, but it doesn't stay consistent. And this is where it gets to like the third act, mainly like the last like 15 minutes of this movie. The last 15 minutes of this movie basically becomes like a caricature of itself. What I thought this movie was going to be, as far as everything being like over the top and like just crazy, right? If that had been throughout the entire movie, I probably would have ranked this high, right? You take something like, what is it? Sharknado, right? They made like 5 of those movies. And yes, those movies aren't what you would say like they're good, right? Like Academy Award, like this is going to be one of the best movies of all time. Like, no. But the people who made those movies, right, who wrote those movies, they clearly understood what their job was. Their job was to just present the most crazy scenario possible, right? And then have fun within that. Do over the top whatever it is that you can think of. It's called Sharknado, right? They understood the assignment. They understood the assignment. This movie, while it comes across, again, the first like hour of this movie, hour and 15 of this movie, comes across like a drama filled with sharks. The last 15 minutes might as well be Sharknado, because so many over the top, ridiculous things happen that I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. This is just dumb. There's plot armor. And then it comes across like hysterical. I'll just give one aspect of this, right? So one of the stories that takes place during this centers around three kids. We're in a house and the flood happens, right? Everything's there. The sharks are there. All this. The older kid, the brother, eventually goes down into the basement that's already been flooded and is able to pull out steaks from the fridge, right? He then grabs a box from, I believe they're orphans, and so he grabs a box from their orphan father, who basically was, this hardcore, had guns, all this stuff. So he grabs this box, opens the box, and finds out that there's dynamite in it. So what they decide to do is they're going to take those steaks, wrap it around dynamite, throw it off into the corner of the house, have the sharks go after it, right? And then, make their escape. Of course, throughout this whole time, the sharks are prevalent throughout this entire house. Any sudden movement has always attracted the sharks' attention. And so they do this, they throw it into the corner, and all of a sudden, what? The sharks don't react to it. So the youngest child decides to say, hey, you know what I noticed on Shark Week, what I learned, is that they're attracted to vibrations. So what we need to do is that we need to go over to where the dynamite, steak is. We need to make noise around it, get the sharks to come, and then the sharks will eat it and then die. I mean, if you're already here with me, you understand how just dumb this is, right? Especially given what's happened throughout the entire movie. And so what do? They go over. They go over and start making noise around the dynamite. By the way, the dynamite's already been lit, right? So it's going down. They're going around the dynamite making noise. Blah, 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 blah. The sharks come, right? And then there's a little thing with one of the kids getting stuck as they're trying to make their escape. But he eventually, gets out. But again, the whole thing is they're making all the noise. The sharks come and then they just leave. And the sharks ignore them and just go right after the piece of meat. Mind you, the piece of meat that's not making any noise, right? And because it's flooded, they're making noise trying to get away from the steak dynamite, making all the noise and vibrations, but the sharks ignore them, go after the dynamite, and then all get blown up. Like, it completely became just this ridiculous, nonsensical thing that happened. And that was just one thing. There's another scene, right, where Dr. Dale, right? Dale, he tracks sharks. He studies sharks, and they were tracking a great white shark. And at the end of the movie, the female lead, right, she gives birth to her baby, right? She's about to get attacked by a bull shark that, mind you, she fought off maybe like 5 minutes earlier while everybody else is dying. But she fought it off. And as this bull shark's about to eat her and her newborn son, this great white that has been throughout the movie, that hasn't done anything, but was just slowly making its way, is there the exact moment, and Free Willy style jumps up, eats the bull shark, and goes back down, thus saving the girl. Again, just like, what? And there's a couple of other things. If you're gonna go watch it, I won't spoil it, but those are like the big spoilers that I have. But there's just it's so ridiculous, and so I give it a 6 out of 10. Obviously, if you're going to watch this movie, expect a lot of blood, a lot of gore. There's going to be a lot of cursing in it. No sex. Again, this would be weird if they even try to do that. But again, it's Hollywood. Who knows? But again, a lot of gore, a lot of cursing. So be expecting that if you're going to watch this. But I don't really recommend anyone really watch this movie. I can't even say that, hey, it's just a good, shark movie, it's going to be a lot of fun and everything. It's not even that at all. So 6 out, you know what? 5 out of 10. It's a 5 out of 10 for me. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you not? I don't know. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Peace.